Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Daniel and this is day 3 of 50 days of data. So today I was going to be chatting with you guys about how data is becoming a new and extremely important asset class. But what I realized is that it would probably be good to give a little more background as to how everything has evolved to where it is today. And I'm not a huge history buff, as many of you might know, but I do want to touch on what brought us here. So from a very high level, there's companies like AWS, and Microsoft as well has some stuff that runs the underlying architecture of the internet, and it's important to understand how a basic push-pull works. So I don't know if you guys ever played that game Telephone as a kid, but in essence, an API call or a programmatic call is essentially a computer reaching out to another computer and saying, hey, do you have this information? Or hey, can you do this procedure for me? That other computer responds back to the other computer and says, yeah, I have that information, here it is. Or I don't have that information, but I have this program that I can run to get you that information, so here's how it works. And those calls go back and forth all the time, which is what's creating all this data. So whenever you're interacting with anything, basically, like a like on Facebook, for instance, you would go like someone's picture, then Facebook would input that data into their database, and they would track, hey, you liked the X Games, and therefore we know that you're somebody who's into extreme sports. Maybe we can advertise kiteboarding to you. Maybe we can advertise snowboarding to you. And it would just get accrued over time in order for them to build a better profile for you. So not only do advertising companies do this, but there are also hedge funds and data companies that just collect data and sell it. And that's really starting to drive the data economy. I've been watching this ecosystem for a couple of years now, and I definitely think it's a huge growth industry. But that being said, I feel as though it's still really early innings. And from people who I've talked to in the ecosystem, it's still pretty early days. There's not a ton of liquidity when it comes to data, just because the people who are going to be buying that data aren't really quite ready for it. You have management consultants that buy the data. There's companies like DataStreamX out of APAC who's doing stuff like that. Then you have other companies in the advertising space like Narrative.io, along with a bunch of other companies that are owned by some larger guys like Axicom's LiveRamp, or the Oracle Data Cloud with like BlueKai, DataLogix, and DMPs and stuff of that nature. Then on the finance side, you have guys like Quandl or Eagle Alpha, who are essentially trying to seek out data sets to help the hedge funds or asset managers make better buy decisions, because essentially he who has the best data wins. If I know something that you don't, I have an edge. And if I can go buy that edge and I have the money to buy that edge, it's something that is extremely valuable. So the pipes that are put in place, were done by the original, internet companies, as well as, the finance guys and the advertising guys. It's important to remember, though, that, different data sets can be used for different things and will have different value for different people. If I know that a Caterpillar engine is going to break, that might not necessarily be valuable to somebody who manufactures plastics. But if I am an engine manufacturer or a mechanic, for instance, that data could be valuable. And people right now are trying to figure out how to tap into that and leverage that. Some of my friends have reached out to me and said, there's non-human traffic, there's other data compliance things that you should talk about, and I really appreciate the interaction. I'm definitely going to talk about those things, but for right now I'm just trying to make it so you guys can better understand what's happening, and before we kind of get into the super technical aspects of it, I'm trying to paint a picture from a higher level. So hopefully this is helpful. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my channel. I'm also pushing this out on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to be pushing this out on LinkedIn. Please share it with your friends, as well as I'm going to be pushing it out on Twitter. So thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. If you guys know of anybody else who's doing this, let me know. I would love to talk to them. If you guys want to have me talk about a specific subject, please let me know. Comment, email me, Facebook me, Instagram me. I'm not shy. Don't be either. Data's the new oil. Data is sexy. Thanks so much. Talk to you guys soon.